All right, welcome back to the Mansdem. This is episode 19, a special episode of sorts, as we just want to, we're going to talk about the Mamba. So by now, I'm sure basketball fans, people in general, all know about the tragic passing of Kobe Bryant and his daughter Gianna, and seven others in a helicopter over Calabasas last Sunday. So, of course, I'd be remiss if I didn't, you know, talk about the Mamba real quick. So, I just wanted to say, um, Kobe Bryant. We're the same age, and honestly, when he came into the league, I hated the dude. I hated him just because
Sounds like a lot of people actually.
his attitude. I hated his attitude for a guy who at that time in his life didn't accomplish anything.
Yeah.
And sure, he's an NBA player, so he's more accomplished than me, and I get that. But it wasn't until his I think it was his second contract when he just his money just got disgusting. I was like, I hate this fucking dude right now. You know what I mean? Because it was full on hate. Like from where I was on my life at the time, and struggling to finish up school and whatnot, and buying the perfect gig and stuff like that. I was like, this dude, I hate him right now because his paper was just insane. And I later did come to respect him. I mean, his talent undeniable. And he's definitely one of the greatest players to ever do it. So I certainly have an appreciation for his game and everything he accomplished. I will say this: I was talking to my wife just a few weeks ago, and I was like, you know what, man, I'm really loving retirement Kobe. Like I was such a fan of him as a retired guy.
Retirement Kobe was actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
He wasn't a guy that faded in the background, but he kind of was doing cool things. He's just like, this guy is a good dude. Like
right,
cool.
Like he won me over in retirement.
He's not one of those people that's just like not doing anything and just like you don't hear about him. Like you heard about him and stuff like that, but it's not overbearing. So it was like fun to hear about the new things that he's doing, and obviously winning an Oscar was.
Very cool thing for the sport and for the culture or whatever. So when I don't know that he scaled back. I don't know what to call it, but there was something about retirement Kobe that I just like. I did, and I was so happy with his new evolution, whatever. So quickly, just a couple of things that I remember for Kobe for. Obviously, as a Raptors fan, when he dropped 81 on us, of course, I hated him for it. But what people forget about that game is that it was just after the Raptors traded Vince, and this was going to be like their first kind of signature win in that next, in the new era of the Raptors, whatever you want to call it. And they were dummying the Lakers in the first quarter.
Oh, yeah.
They were up by 20, and no one remembers this. And then all of a sudden, Kobe turned that switch, and Raptors couldn't defend, Raptors couldn't score, and Kobe couldn't miss. And he just went nuts. And I'm just like, I remember watching this game. I remember turning off the game. I remember putting it back on to see if they got close again or whatever. And it was like, this is insane because nobody else was scoring, right?
It was the Kobe show.
It was insane. So I remember that. I don't know what year it was. I want to say it was 2002 against Portland in the conference finals when they came back from 10 late in the fourth and that lob to Shaq.
The lob to Shaq.
Yeah.
I remember that game in particular because I remember Portland. I think Portland was up like 15 and it was a game 7 too, right? So this is obviously the game to go to the finals.
Yep.
And Portland was up like 15, and I remember me and my friend. We were just talking about this game. And I said, I think the Lakers are still going to win this game. And then you just kind of see the slow turnaround. And then when she saw that lob, you kind of knew.
Yeah.
Like, that was pretty much the game closer. And as you could see on their faces, they knew that was pretty much a wrap at that point in time.
Yeah, it was 2001. 2001, I think. I think it was their second one, right?
I can't remember if that was when they went to go fit when they beat New Jersey or that. I mean, they beat New Jersey twice in a row, I think. Is that correct?
I think they did
win
beat
titles.
New Jersey twice in a row, yeah.
That was probably one of them. But I mean, but yeah, I mean, just seeing that turnaround and kind of having a sense that it was going to happen, and then seeing that lob. I mean, that's one of those iconic moments.
I mean, and there's another play. I can't remember the game. It was regular season, but it was Kobe against Portland, who he loved to play, obviously. But I remember he did this. I think he was being guarded by Patterson.
Oh my gosh!
And then the double came over. Not the three.
No.
This is
I know what you're talking about.
He was being guarded by Patterson, I think, and then the double came. I think it was Bonzi, and he did a spin move in between both of these guys. He did a spin move to beat the double team, and it just is one of the greatest things I've ever seen. And
Was that what did he go for a layup or a dunk? Is that
layup?
Okay,
It was a layup, but it was the dirtiest spin move you're ever going to see.
You know what? I haven't looked it up yet, but I think there was something that he did. It's probably against Portland again, where he just did some dance move on the sideline and just bombed a three, and as soon as it left his hand, you knew because off all those moves and still managing to stay inbounds and behind the 3-point line, you just knew the shot was going in, and of course it went in, and they just made Portland or whoever the team was. I think it was, like I said, I think it was Portland, but he just made them look absolutely ridiculous. And it was at the end of the game, and I think they either won the game or tied the game or something like that. So that's one of the things I remember about it.
Crazy. So the last thing obviously there's more, but I'll just again, I don't want to be here all day talking about Kobe. Not that we can't or doesn't deserve it from a basketball standpoint, but again, I know these podcasts run a little long, so we can't keep it short. But the one thing I remember for him for, and no, it's not him for, but it was a Christmas Day game, is when he caught a two-piece from Chris Childs. They got into the scrum and Childs hit him with the 1-2 real quick. Give him the two-piece and the biscuit, man.
I remember, but I'd have to go back and look it up again to see it.
But. Give him two-piece and a biscuit, and again, being a Kobe hater at the time, I loved it. I was like, no one ever wants to touch this kid, and pop. I was like, oh, Chris Childs. So those are my quick little memories of Kobe. Rest in peace. All the families, I hope they find peace themselves. It's a terrible thing to have to deal with. So again, to the Bryant family and to everybody who lost somebody in that tragedy. Hearts are with you.
For sure.
Recover, find strength in friends, and hope you guys can find peace at some point behind all this. Any memories you want to share, Kobe?
There's one in particular. One of the things that they keep replaying. It was a game against Denver, I think, and I don't even know who the guy was. I vaguely remember him. I think I saw his name on his jersey was Yarborough, and he went behind the back and he missed him, and then he did the spin and dunked all over his entire family. And it's just like, and it's one of those
the one behind the back, and then he did
and he spun around and just dunked. It's just the two of them in the screen. It just seeing that play, making that guy look absolutely ridiculous. Yeah. It's like, I mean, not that he didn't make a lot of guys look ridiculous, but they should have suspended that guy on the spot. You can't allow that to happen to yourself.
Yeah. That's like you gotta take a foul on that one.
Yeah,
man.
you've got to do something. Yeah. I don't care if you shove him in his chest and just put him down, but you cannot get abused like that. That's one of the things I remember. I mean, the one I told you earlier about with the little dance move against who I think is Portland. I mean, the one thing I remember about Kobe, I mean, everybody talks about how his work ethic and all that's nasty. I won't talk too much about that. But the one thing I did like that's kind of related to that is the fact that he always seemed to come back with like new moves and new ways of attacking the rim. Like he just always had, like, I mean, every time it seemed like, watching those primetime games, he'd have some different, unique way of attacking the rim and finding a way to get to the rim. Like he just, like, I mean, and he has such ferocity. I mean, he dunked like Dominique, with the amount of power.
Went out the rim with authority, man. Some aggression.
So he's like just always, striving to achieve more and just getting more and learning more moves and stuff like that. I mean, that's the type of legendary work ethic that came with a guy like Kobe Bryant.
Okay, and last thing before I leave, it's not even like a memory, but I used to give Bryant a hard time, and we've talked about this before, but I would say for any of the high schoolers that came in before him and have gotten opportunities, I really do believe he's actually the one that had to work the most. Because when he got to the Lakers, they had Eddie Jones. He had to deal with Nick Van Exel. Mm-hmm. He had to deal with, I think Ceballos was on the team for a year. Like he had to go through a lot of guards, small shooting guards, small forwards to start getting playtime. Byron Scott was on the team.
That's right.
And these aren't guys who are just going to give away minutes.
Yeah.
What I mean? They're guys that were either established or on the come up. Mm-hmm. So although I didn't like Kobe coming into the league, that guy had to work to get his minutes. And he did, and he deserved the minutes, and he made the best use of them. So, I mean, all due respect to him, he did his thing.
He did not know how not to work. He would put in the work. And the thing is, when he came in the league people thought he was really arrogant and stuff like that. I thought, I mean, looking back now, I feel like he was confident because he knew he was talented, but he also knew that he put in the work, and he just kind of knew that when you're talented and you put in the work, you're going to get the results. Yeah. And so I think that versus like being like saying that he was too cocky, I think that he's just it was a real strong confidence more confident than most of us would be in anything really.
Sure.
But
At that age,
and
that
I mean,
situation, yeah.
yeah, exactly. So I mean that, and yeah, I mean when he came in the league, I didn't like him as much either, and then I just kind of grew to respect him. And I did really like him because I liked his little bit of a loner mentality, but also I liked his work ethic and I liked his game. I just liked how dedicated he was to winning. I mean, I didn't see anybody who in any sport that I can even think of who's as dedicated to winning as him, and that's what people talk about when they remember him. Right?
He's the only killer of his era in ball. Yeah. Absolutely. Like Jordan was a killer, and the next killer after him was Kobe. 100%. There's nobody that's been a killer like one of those, like either of those two. Like end of the game, they get the ball, and it's not about like every say you gotta be brave to take the shots and willing to miss the shots. He was just like, I'm the guy getting the shot. He wasn't about looking to make the right play. You know what I mean? Exactly. It's like I'm gonna put this on my shoulders. If we don't win, it's my fault. And he was okay with that.
And he had no problem taking the heat because he knew that more often than not he was going to make he's going to make that shot, and that he's going to win the game for the team. And he didn't mind that pressure. He thrived on that pressure. Whereas a lot of guys can't thrive on that pressure because they're not clutch and they don't have that gene in them. He always had that gene in him to be able to be clutch and to thrive on those intense moments.
Definitely. All right. I'm going to wrap it up. This has been the Mansdem. Stay tuned. Kobe. Peace out.